Hi, hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Often during course of one's preparation for any competitive exam, we keep so many aspects in mind like we should do this, do that, so on and so forth. So what to do, we are mostly aware of. But what about what not to do? So that will be the focus of this video, what not to do in order to crack entrance. So I hope you guys are ready and looking forward to it. Let's go ahead without any delay. What not to do, these are various factors which I wanted to highlight, and for sake of your convenience, I divided them into three categories. Factors which fall under psychological aspects of your preparation, factors which fall under preparation related aspects, and factors which are related to our common sense. So we'll deal with all of these factors in a crisp, clear manner without taking much time. We'll have an overview of this, right? And in fact, in my observation, what I've realized is it's easy to explain subject. It's easy to explain something which is already there in literature, but when we're trying to put something which is not there elsewhere in any of the textbooks, and when we're trying to put something which is based on our experience and observation, it's even more challenging. But still, I'll try my level best to be as precise and as concise as possible, right? So, first and foremost, we'll deal with very briefly preparation related factors. What not to do, setting unrealistic targets. What not to do, Googling answers. What not to do, skipping standard references, textbook references or article references. What not to do, considering your test scores as the finding. So, what is this all about? Unrealistic targets. Usually, what happens is, as you can see in our complaints report, we encourage students to put next week target. But once these targets are unrealistic, there is this negative feedback mechanism. For example, if I'm allotting 30 to 35 hours per week towards preparation, and I want to increase it to 60 hours or 70 hours, all of a sudden, I know that it's unrealistic, but still I tend to do it because that's human tendency. We want to, gulp a lot at once. What happens is the problem with this approach is the problem with the approach of setting unrealistic targets is once eventually we fail to achieve these targets, we feel discouraged and we will altogether ditch the endeavor of achieving the target, defeating the entire purpose, which is fulfilling the targets. So the point is, rather than setting unrealistic targets, see what is more pragmatic, what is more practical, what is more possible, and who is going to tell you all this. You will know with your own experience, and you will know with awareness of your own potential. I will know how much time I can allot towards preparation. I will know how many MCQs I can practice on a daily basis, right? So it comes with experience and it comes with awareness of self, right? What not to do, setting unrealistic targets. And then Googling answers. You think you're saving time, but you're wasting your time because the answers that you get, they're not accurate. For example, if you're searching using keywords GCF is exudate, you will get various articles, various references supporting your statement. At the same time, if you search GCF is transudate, right, you will get various searches related to your keywords. Again, the point is, whatever you search, there are articles supporting your search, which means the search results are biased. I'm wrong. It's not the search results, but we humans are biased. We already have an answer in mind and we're trying to justify that answer or find literature supporting our answer. No, that's not how we get to acquire knowledge, right? That's not how we learn. Through a biased approach, one cannot learn. So there's no point in Googling answers. So what should you do? Stop skipping standard references. Use standard references. It can be textbooks, it can be PubMed indexed articles, right? Even though it takes time. As I keep on reminding, it's not waste of time, it is wise investment of your time. And once you get an answer, and that answer is standardized, authentic, and you can go ahead without any second doubt. So, in fact, in a way, you're saving time, right? I hope you got my point. And The final aspect here in preparation related factors is considering your MCQ test scores as final. Often when you practice these practice tests in your test series, the scores which you get mostly, I see students getting discouraged by the scores. See, the point is, if you already knew everything, why would you be practicing these tests? You're practicing because you want to test yourself, you want to learn, and you want to improve, right? So accept the reality, no matter what the score is, accept it and see how you can improve, how you can minimize your negative marking, and where you've gone mistakes, where I've done extensive videos on the same, and see how you can improve your test scores eventually, and that's what matters. And do not miss the bigger picture. The bigger picture here is, are you learning in the process? That's what matters at the end of the day, because only once you're learning something, you'll be able to answer questions well, you'll be able to score, and you'll be able to crack entrance accordingly. It's all about, it all boils down to how much you're learning ultimately during the course of your preparation, right? So, in preparation related factors, what not to do, please keep the following in mind. Now, moving on to the next category, the second category, factors related to psychology, psychology of preparation. What not to do, comparisons. What not to do, being pessimistic. And most importantly, what not to do, not indulging in these self defeating behaviors. First and foremost, why should we compare? You can question me like, sir, the final exam is percentile basis, which means it's a comparative exam, right? Like how well you do compared to others. The problem with that approach is once you start comparing your results with that of others, it takes away the intrinsic pleasure or joy of your preparation and makes it more mundane process. See, the bigger picture is, how much are you learning in the process of your preparation? How many basics are you mastering in the process of your preparation? So that's what matters at the end of the day. And once you start resorting to comparisons, it takes away the pleasure and it makes it more and more burdensome. And it comes to a point where you feel like dropping completely from your preparation. Do you want that to happen? Comparison is a thief of joy. It's as simple as that. Rather, if you want, even though I wouldn't encourage that, if you want, you can compare your yesterday with that of today to that of tomorrow and try to be the better version of yourself. And this is something which we keep hearing, but I wouldn't encourage you to even do that, because once you're doing something right now, if I'm doing something, let me do it mindfully, let me do it wholeheartedly, let me just keep giving my best. That's it, period. Why comparisons? Why to put ourselves through that unnecessary drama of guilt or whatever negativity that comes in the process? Right? I hope you got my point. What not to do, being pessimistic. A coin has two sides. If that's the case, optimism and pessimism are on each side. The problem with pessimistic approach is, if I say don't think about monkeys, it's obvious that we think about monkeys. Stop thinking about monkeys. Do you think you'll stop? No, we'll think about monkeys. So the point here is, humans are not good at taking negative comments. So when you're pessimistic, you're like, I don't want to fail. What if I fail? So what's happening here is, your focus is only on failure and will eventually fail, because we are creatures of manifestation. Whatever we think, that will eventually happen. Rather than telling yourself like, I don't want to fail, keep telling yourself, I want to succeed, so that your focus will be on success. It works. It absolutely works. Because whatever you think, that will influence your actions, and whatever your actions are, that will influence your lifestyle, your life, your decisions, everything per se, and you'll create your own universe in the process. So being pessimistic, I don't think that's wise. Rather, try being optimistic, right? Please keep that in mind. And finally, once we are frustrated, we don't love ourselves anymore, we'll indulge in these self-defeating behaviors like overeating, binge watching, so on and so forth. So why does it happen? I was going through some psychology literature in which the psychologists say that A person who doesn't love himself or herself will indulge themselves in these self-defeating behaviors. It can be excess watching of some stuff. It can be binge eating. It can be binge watching. It can be anything that fills you with regret, guilt, and you feel like you're losing your energy in the process. Self-defeating behaviors. Why do humans tend to indulge in these activities? It's because they don't love themselves. So try cultivating that self love. The reality here is, in this 8 billion population on this planet Earth, we are unique and special in our own way, right? Everyone is unique and special in their own way. If we're unique, and once we realize the intensity of the statement which I just said, why would we indulge ourselves in such self-defeating behaviors? Rather, we would take care of self and be the best version of ourselves. It's all a matter of one's attitude. So what not to do? Coming to psychological factors, what not to do? Being pessimistic, comparing ourselves with others, including with our own selves, and most importantly, not indulging in self-defeating behavior. Finally, before we conclude, some factors which fall under this common sense category. Sacrificing sleep, what not to do? Sacrificing sleep, what not to do? Binging unhealthy food, what not to do? Staying indoors 24 by 7. See, what happens is we think we can sacrifice our sleep and then use that additional time to do something which is in line with our interests and inclinations, like preparation. But the point is, we are beings who need some rest, right? Where energy forms, where we need some rest. And if we think we can sacrifice our sleep, our health is compromised, physical, mental, our memory is compromised, our circadian rhythm is disturbed, our entire biology gets skewed in the process. So, sacrificing sleep, after all, might not serve any purpose to us if we are looking to enhance ourselves, and most importantly, enhance the activities that we are doing, such as preparation. Please keep that in mind. And I've tried highlighting about sacrificing sleep and food in various other videos as well, including in one of the videos titled as Circadian Rhythms, Biologic Clock, etc. Previously, several years ago. So make sure that you're taking care of your sleep. And what not to do? Stuffing ourselves with unhealthy food. In the process, a lot of trans fat, saturated fats will go. You might be young, we might be young, nothing will happen right now, that's fine. Future, no one knows, let's leave it. But in the process, we are missing so many essential micronutrients, vitamins, etc., which in turn will affect our productivity. Right? So keep that in mind. And finally, staying indoors, most of the girls, especially women, are suffering from vitamin D deficiency, including some men. I see nowadays. And as a consequence of vitamin D deficiency, we can see a range of manifestations which ultimately affect our productivity. What not to do? Staying indoors 24 by 7. Come out, expose yourself to the external environment, observe sky now and then, expose yourself to sun, and then try to have some fresh air, no matter how polluted it is, right? So try to expose yourself to this external ambient environment, and it plays a greater role in enhancing your mood. A simple walk outside will enhance your mood, mark my words, right? So these are some of the factors which I wanted to highlight, right? Factors related to psychology, factors related to preparation, factors related to common sense, and finally, before I conclude, the most important and my personal favorite, exam, is it a matter of life and death? I see some of the students assuming or taking exam as a matter of life and death, and that's very unfortunate. Exams are not a matter of life and death. Only those idiots with, kind of vested interests, they try to push and say that this exam is a matter of life and death, because for these idiots, exam is a means to make more and more money. But let me tell you, I have my academy, I have thousands of students. I've been dealing with this for the past 8 years, and it is coming from my mouth. Exams are not a matter of life and death. Exam is just one phase in your professional life. There are still many phases. Just because we fail in this exam doesn't mean that we fail in life. Not at all. Just because we succeed in this exam doesn't mean that we'll succeed in life. Not at all. Life is a much more larger, beautiful, miraculous phenomena which has to be experienced. It's a miracle which needs to be experienced. Exam is not a matter of life and death. Life is beyond all these things. Exam is just a small phase in your professional life. Give your best, do your best, crack the entrance, come out with flying colors, and experience this mystery called life rather than getting stuck with this exam, rather getting stuck with these marks and ranks and so on and so forth. So have this wider perspective, a bigger perspective, and it feels like this is nothing. In fact, in a way, you're preparing, exam is a mean for you to prepare for this larger phenomenon called life. During your exam preparation, I've experienced it personally. I've seen many of the students experiencing it. Once you're preparing for entrance exam, you come across numerous challenges. And how you overcome those challenges ultimately makes all the difference. That's how the life is as well. In life, in the phenomena of life, there are many challenges. And once you overcome these challenges with ease and grace, I keep saying this, with smile on face and courage in heart, if you can overcome any challenge, life will throw a red carpet in front of you. And trust me when I say this, I don't know what life is, but I feel it's a kind of mystery which has to be experienced. Let's not define it. Let's not define by saying life is this, life is that. And let's be humble in accepting that we don't know what life is, what the hell we're doing on this planet. Everyone has their own reason, but life per se seems to be like a mystery which needs to be experienced. And if we are not having such perspectives, we'll get lost in the process and miss the flavor of the essence called. As I said, humans are not good at taking negative commands. Instead of telling you what not to do, let me tell you what to do finally, ultimately. Set realistic targets. Instead of Googling answers, refer standard literature, standard textbooks, PubMed indexed articles, etc. And your MCQ scores are just a means for you to improve and do better in the subsequent tests. Instead of comparisons, focus on mindful work, focus on giving your best at that particular moment. Be optimistic and indulge yourself in behaviors which enhance your energies and are guilt free. Sleep well, eat healthy food, and then explore Mother Nature. And exams are just a part of your professional life, but not everything. And life is a much more larger phenomena rather than these minor challenges called exams, right? So this is another way of projecting what I wanted to say through what not to do. I hope it's so. These are the topics which I wanted to highlight. I hope this video is helpful, and if you have any queries or if you need any further guidance, you can always get back through mail at proudtobedentist@gmail.com 24/7. And before I conclude, finally, what not to do, keep the following factors in mind and use your own awareness and experience and see how you can improve yourself even better along with the provided factors. What other factors have you identified which you think you shouldn't do? So make a list and then try implementing it and ultimately experience this miracle called life. All the best. Love you all.